first time when you check this, you just set it in the hole, you don't screw it in. First time I checked, it was a little higher than what I was like, whoa, I was really careful, I put in the right amount. But I thought, okay, well, some of the chain needs, is without oil now, so I rolled it around and then checked it, rolled around the tire a couple rotations and then checked it again, and we're down where we should be. Nice clean oil, and we're ready to ride. And I checked my vent here, and it seems to be working okay, so it's like a little bubbleator. And then I happen to notice on down here on the can you see what I'm pointing at? Down here is a little tube that comes out. I finally looked at the books and stuff, and that's the drain for any moisture or water or junk that collects around this housing, around that seal that I said you couldn't get to until you pulled the rear tire off in order to either change it or work on it or do something. Then you can get in and clean that seal out. But that drains anything that might be back in there, water and moisture that picks up while you're out riding in the rain. So get that tighten back down, and it's time to clean up the panels and put them back on again. We're done. One last thing to check on is when you put this panel back in, the gasoline overflow vent hose has got to go through a little notch. It's got an O-ring that has to go into a slot in this panel. And then also remember we had to stick back in the hydraulic brake line back into this clip, and then make sure you get all the parts in nice and tight, especially where this thing fits in up in here. So look for the prongs and make certain that everything goes back together again. Let me back up in here. This has got to pop in too, so be careful when you put it back together and look for misfits. Okay, another thing you want to make certain, this front cowling has a little lip across the bottom that has the foam stuck to it. It needs to go over this metal plate right here. Go over the top of it before you put in those little side pins that are down in here. Otherwise it won't set right. So you got to kind of lift it up over the shelf that's down here and then back in again. So make sure you got this little plastic piece with the foam on top of this metal piece right here before you put it together. Okay, the other thing you might want to check is there's 4 screws that take off the cover in here, and then to check out the air filter and give it a blowout too, and then look to see if there's anything inside the air box. Give it a clean out too. Also, I didn't mention it, but when you're taking off these side panels, one of the things you need to get off is panel 1 up here, which goes around the key switch, and panel 2. There's only 2 screws on panel 2 up here, but it's a real SOB to get the 2 upper corners out of these notches here. And you think you're going to break them off, but you just take your time and work around with it and move it around, because it just hinges down in here and then pops in place. But it can be a real pain in the butt to get these 2 upper corners out. Okay, the other thing you want to be doing too anytime is to check the air pressure. And lean down here. I like to over pump and then back it down. You want to get it down to 33 pounds on the front, and then 36 pounds on the back. Porky's pressure may vary. Okay, she's all back together now. So Rosie has her 4,000 mile checkup all done. Got to use my carb tune again. Whether or not you ever get one of these things depends on how long you own it and how much work you want to do. It's quite the little instrument, and it shows me that I didn't need to do anything to the sink. Same with my fluke meter. If I ever have an electrical problem, I've got my fluke, and especially with the RPM, so I didn't have to do any adjusting or fiddling around. The only thing I'm going to have to come back and do later, as I investigated more, is the lubing up of the throttle cables mainly because the wire inside the sheath is really small and really tight, and I got to find out what they do. I'll contact Huey over at Maxi Muppets and see what he does. And then the other one is the oiling of the cable for the emergency brake. Other than that, she came through with flying colors, and she's all ready to go, and I'm ready to go camping this weekend, so put some more miles on her. Remind myself I need to turn her on and reset the oil light, so I'm going to go do that now. Till later, big wheels turning out.